What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Late last night, Bitcoin began to rally off of the 6450 level, and we are currently trading above $7,000, up over 3.5%. In all of my past videos, we discussed that $6,430 is the most critical support level for Bitcoin to hold if we were going to continue the uptrend. And yesterday, the Kraken exchange featured me in a tweet. They reposted one of CryptoWatch tweets, which actually links to this blog post right here. This series goes inside the minds of traders to learn their strategies, preferred tools, habits, and mindsets for success. I'm going to link this blog post in the description below. Definitely check it out. They asked me a lot of questions in here, a lot of interesting questions that you can read, and there's a lot of interesting answers that I gave them about my history, my view on the market, how I approach the market, and all these different things. Guys, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started on the Bitcoin analysis. Right now I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart. Bitcoin is currently trading at $7,036 US. In a lot of my previous videos, we discussed this support level right here at 6,430, that historic 2019 low point, that if the bulls were going to maintain this bullish structure and maintain healthy market structure and actually, continue this higher low trajectory, that we would need to hold 6430. And we discussed that if Bitcoin holds 6430, then that is still technically a higher low on the chart. And at the moment, if you're looking at log scale, Bitcoin is currently coming to retest this downward sloping resistance. Let's hop into the 4-hour chart where we can see that Bitcoin is right now actually testing just along that downward sloping resistance line. On Easter, when we had this pump, we were discussing that if Bitcoin could get above the downward sloping resistance, create support along it, get that bullish confirmation, and see a rally off of this level, that would be confirmation that we're looking for further upside. Now, the same thing goes for the levels that we are at right now. Before, the target was get above 7,200, create support along it, and then rally off that point. And now the target is going to be closer to where we are right now, which is about where these 4-hour candles are closing. So I would say 7,050 is the area that we need to get above, hold as new support, and then rally off that point. And this would give us more bullish confirmation that we could be looking for more upside. And then at that point, we would very likely be looking to target some of these upside targets, closer to 7,700, maybe even 8,000. On the next push to the upside. As many of you have probably noticed, I've been very bullish here on this channel for the past few weeks. And the reason for that was the weekly volume indication. We've discussed this many times, but this is a very important thing to bring up. And this is one of the main reasons why I've been bullish recently. I think it's important for me to discuss this again. If you're looking at the $20,000 peak area, that reversal point before we had the drop down to 6,000, that was the area of the highest volume. And the next area with the highest volume levels was none other than the area just before we hit $3,100, that major downside, right? And then we got the reversal back to the upside. The next area of the highest volume was none other than 14,000. That top point, that peak before we got a drop down to 6,400. And the next area of highest volume was none other than the recent drop to 3850. Spikes in volume like this are one of the best ways to indicate bottoms and tops in a market and when the market is going to see reversals. I've made some extremely accurate reversal calls in the past using this exact indication. And we've been discussing this for over a month now. On this channel, we were looking at this weekly volume right here. And this red candle right here, this giant red candle. And when we noticed that these volume levels were exceeding the levels when we hit 20,000, we realized that this was actually very likely a reversal point. When you see this much volume come into the market and this much of the available supply shifts hands that quickly, and the price halts at a certain level and rebounds, it's extremely likely that the price will not fall lower than that point. It's extremely likely that at that point you're looking for a reversal in the market. And this has been true for all other major volume areas. And this area was no different. Since that indication, I've been very bullish on the market. I've been holding my bullish bias. I've been accumulating cryptos, and all of that has worked out in my favor despite people being overly bearish and giving me a lot of criticism for being bullish, even though we had one of the most bullish indications you can get from the volume here. And I've stayed true to my analysis and it's been working out. And what makes me even more bullish right now is that we actually just held a historic support from 2019. We are holding that 6430 level, which is a historic support level. Now, the next and final bullish confirmation that I really need right now at this point is if you're looking at log scale and you map out your downward sloping resistance, the next bullish indication that would solidify everything for me is if we actually broke above our downward sloping resistance, created support along this level, and rallied off this level. One thing to note is that this previous high right here, this previous resistance, the highest point so far on this uptrend here, is also coming in at the golden retrace level, that area where we bounced during the China pump. So this is another critical zone. You know, we also found a lot of resistance within this range. So this is that, 7,400 is that critical area to get above. Also, we've been talking a lot about the $7,700 level as that next upside target. Keep in mind also the 21-week EMA right now is actually coming in at 7,700. About 7,700 is right now where the 21-week EMA is sitting. So if the price of Bitcoin does see a rally, you could expect that we may be interacting with this moving average. We may see resistance here before any sort of continued move up. We may be looking at this as our next resistance point, possibly looking to create more higher lows below the 21-week EMA before we get a major breakout. So keep in mind the 21-week EMA is right now sitting around 7,700, and that could be the next upside target. And as we've discussed many times in the past, holding the 6430 level, the level that we just bounced off of, this historic support from 2019, holding this level is going to be very critical for the bulls moving forward. If we fall below this level, then we could be looking for 5,800, 5,400 or lower, right? But as long as we're holding this critical support, it's very likely that we will continue the uptrend. And recently, if you're looking at the lower time frames, we can see that we actually just bounced off of 6,456 on Coinbase, which is just above that historic support level. And this is really, really good progress for the bulls. And this is a really good sign for the bulls. So definitely keep in mind that 7,700 is most likely going to be that next upside target, which is where the 21-week EMA is coming in right now. And also, before we end the video, definitely check out this feature that CryptoWatch just released, the COVID-19 crypto tracker. It tracks COVID-19 cases alongside the Bitcoin price. So we can see that once we saw that exponential increase for cases for COVID-19, the Bitcoin price saw this crash here as the pandemic was growing. So it's going to be interesting to see that if we see the number of cases begin to see that bell curve and start to flatten out, will the price of Bitcoin increase? It's an interesting chart to watch. If you just type in cryptowat.ch/COVID-19, you can look at this chart. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys wanna support my work here on this channel, you can join the Patreon, get some extra content there, and check out some of the altcoins that I've been accumulating. And I will see you guys in the next video.